there's been a lot of discourse about NASCAR 25 ever since the interview with Mike Straw came out with Matt Lewis. And listening to that interview, I was going to do a live react, but honestly, it wasn't worth it. And I just listened, and I came away from it feeling very optimistic. I was going to make a video on that. And then I saw the reaction by a lot of people on Twitter, and I just don't understand. And I'm going to talk about that today. And if you're part of this crowd, I don't really know what you expect. So let's just kind of go through. I've pulled up Scott McCann. I used him for the last video I made about NASCAR 25. He went through and made a list of all the things that he thought, the bullet points that they said in this interview. So I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to talk afterwards about, or maybe as I'm going, we'll just see. I'm very frustrated with a lot of NASCAR Twitter, and that's coming from someone that I am a complainer, but on this, I don't feel like this is justified. So anyway, so it's in the Unreal Engine, but everything's custom made, which that's unsurprising. I saw somebody on Twitter put that this in World of Outlaws is the same engine. No, World of Outlaws is on Unity. It's not even close to the same. I've just seen so much misinformation and people just saying things, and it's unbelievably frustrating. Anyway, they have around 50 people working on the game, with around another 20 assisting. I'm sure that's 20 from iRacing themselves. That's a pretty sizable dev team, I think. I don't know what they were before iRacing's help, but 50 seems like a lot. Now, I could be completely wrong. I will say that for me, I would have expected around 20, but I don't know anything about game development. But 50 seems like a pretty good size team, and I made no complaints with that. They talked to NASCAR Weekly. Who cares? Whatever. It's fine. Stuff about the gameplay trailer being released in August. There are still people pissed that they haven't released anything, and they've already said it, and I'm totally okay with the gameplay trailer coming out next month. It's fine. Challenging if you have all the assists off, fun no matter what. That's just all going to come down to personal preference, and we'll have to determine for ourselves when the game comes out. They use real-world racing insight data for the driver ratings. That's totally fine. No big deal. I feel like some of the late EA NASCAR games, when they did ratings, they were really random and strange. So I'm more for more official ratings and stuff, especially from a NASCAR sanctity themselves. You'll see someone like Kyle Larson using the Highline more often than other drivers. Now, that's cool, but it doesn't matter if the Highline is garbage, because that means Kyle will be slow. It was like that NASCAR heat, and I don't know. That's to be determined. We'll see. It's a good idea in theory, but we'll see. Dale Jr. is helping tremendously. Now, I want to talk about, I think it was the Daily Downforwards tweeted, and this could just be them making a joke, but it was essentially them saying they put more effort into ARCA and the Dale Jr. podcast on the career mode, then that meant they didn't have time to do spectator mode or split screen. And that's a big part of what I have to say later. But come on. Anyway, I'll get to that later. From practice, you start in your garage stall and your team pushes you onto pit road. So essentially you'll be on pit road when you start. I don't think there's going to be garage stalls, so you can't drive around the garage, which whatever, that's totally fine. I feel like, and we'll get to this later, people asking for really sim stuff don't actually want it. The pre-race stuff is the driver's perspective. They've already said that, everything's from the driver's perspective. I'm cool with that. It's totally fine. Of course, there's stage racing. Why wouldn't there be? No tire set limit. I saw people complaining about that, and it says it's in their 3 to 5 year plan. I think for a console game, that's just not needed at all. I don't think that's necessary, because especially in iRacing has tire limits, but they're not exactly perfect, because you can't put old tire sets on, especially if you accidentally put one on. I just don't think it's necessary for a NASCAR console game to have tire set limits. I just think it's going to go track by track, and it's just so much unnecessary dev time, I think. And for what? especially in shorter races. Are they only going to give you 1 set, 2 sets? It's not worth it. It's not, the juice is not worth the squeeze on that. And whatever, if you're gonna be mad about it, that's kind of a valid concern, I guess. But like, if you want realism, but like, I just don't think it's necessary. No spectating multiplayer races, but it's in their future plans. Now, I saw so many people mad about this, and it's just, oh, man. I'm hoping the online will be good, but I mean, we'll see. I haven't felt like there's been a good online racing since like Inside Line or even like NASCAR 14, 15. I just don't, I mean, for leagues and stuff, sure, but I just don't, personally for me, I don't care. Like, I just don't need it at all. But I mean, I understand if you're kind of bummed about that, but it's not an end-all be-all for sure. All right, let's look at the next part of it. Tools for running leagues is in their future plans, and there's options for custom races and multiplayer races. Like, that's just a lot, again, for a first-year game. And I saw people being like, they had 2 years to make that. Yeah, they had 2 years to make this game from scratch. Like, yes, they're importing stuff from iRacing, but I mean, they're building a game from scratch. Like, it's going to take 2 years to get that game made. You're not going to get everything in this first one for sure. And man, it's just, people want to burn down iRacing headquarters over some of this stuff. You cannot drive your car on pit road manually to avoid trolling, but also future development time. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. Driving on pit road and driving under yellows is not. It's just not worth it. It is so unnecessary, and I was one of those people back in the day. Why can't we do that? Blah blah blah. For me, it is some of the most boring, excruciating times on iRacing or in our 2003 is driving under yellow. It's so freaking boring. I mean, these people that are wanting it have never done 3 or 4 pace laps at Pocono or caution laps. It's awful. You don't want it. You're just going to sit there and be bored, and it's going to be bad. And even if it works perfectly, the pit road's going to be a problem. Like, even in our 2003 is not perfect on pit road. It's very easy to get your car wrecked or make a mistake or something. And my only thing I wish for pit road that we could do is choose our pit stall. And I know people like, you need adequate time to get to pit road to on pit road to make your adjustments. That's fair. I feel like you could do that on the pause menu. Just go ahead and pause, and then you can mess with it, then do it. And if that breaks the immersion for you, I just think that's dumb. But no, I promise you guys, you do not want to drive under yellow. The pits thing I understand a little bit more, but I just don't. It's just too much. It's just too much for a console game. If I'm on a controller, I don't need that. I don't need that. F1 doesn't do that. I don't need that in this game either. Especially with 42 other cars or 35 or whatever it's going to be. Yeah, so many people mad about that, and it's so frustrating. In career, you must start in ARCA, and you can't start in any other series. I'm okay with that. It is going to feel kind of hard to get to the Cup Series, especially if you just want to drive like a Cup season. Hopefully they have a championship mode. I will be upset if there's not one of those. That needs to be in the game. If there's not, then that's silly. But I think there will be, surely. But I don't know. I do wish that maybe there was a way you could start with more money and start in whatever, but for this, I'm not upset at all. It'll be okay. It's just going to feel like such a grind to get to Cup. It's going to feel like a lot of the problems I had with some of these ones where you work your way up is by the time you get to Cup, you're so done with the game that it just feels like, ugh. Career mode will feel like a story mode. Totally fine with that. I've always wanted a story type mode. I mean, but it's not like, it's not going to be like Breaking Point or whatever. You're not going to have rigged races, but I think it just means like from a fact that like you're going to have decisions to make, and Dale Jr.'s podcast is going to talk about you and stuff, and that's okay. It's more than I think we've ever had in a career mode like that, so I'm good. You are managing your own team in career mode. Okay. There's another big one people are really mad about, that you can't drive for other teams in career mode. I would not be surprised if this is on the table for future releases, because the NASCAR Heat Series had where you can own a team or you can drive for somebody else. Personally, I always was a fan of being able to drive another car, but it got to the point for me where I felt like I was just driving a season mode with somebody else's car, if that makes sense. At least in the newer games. In NASCAR like 05, I didn't feel that way, or 06. But, I mean, we'll just have to see. I'm sure it's something they'll add. And if they don't, then you can be upset. But in this, like, it's their first crack at career mode. Like, give me a break. They're doing like this is what NASCAR 04 had. I know you could drive other cars, like you could drive other paint schemes, but you were still your own team. Like you could drive real paint schemes, but you were driving for your own team. And people didn't have any problems with that. I just feel like people are just getting so mad over stuff that it's just not that big of a deal. But I mean, to each their own. Your shop will change as you progress in the career, going from smaller buildings to large buildings. That's like any other sports career mode, like in college where you get a better dorm, or NFL where you get a bigger house, whatever. That's fine. You can hire more people, R&D stuff. That's totally normal. Every NASCAR Heat game recently has had that. Hiring teammates is not in the game, but it's in their future plans. That should make you happy. That should be like, oh, I understand for this game being a single car team, but like they want to do that. That is such a anyway. You can make it doesn't matter. To be determined if custom paints will be allowed in multiplayer races. I mean, that's really just depending on how good the paint booth is and what you can do. Like if you could make your own logos, I understand why that would be a problem, because they just don't want to get in trouble with the Microsoft or Sony or whatever. Okay, it says you'll be able to make custom logos. I should have read down one more. I'm sorry. It says you'll be able to make custom logos and stuff. So that exactly is why it may not be allowed in multiplayer. So the official launch date is coming soon. Releasing on the Switch was never their plan. That doesn't surprise me, but I was hoping for like maybe him to talk about the Switch too. And I know they said on the Switch like there's not as many NASCAR gamers, and I get that, but like, man, the Switch had, it's almost the best-selling console ever. You're going to get a group of people that are going to buy that, myself included. Maybe we'll get it on the Switch too at some point. I'll cross my fingers, but I'm not going to expect it after what he said. They don't know if it's going to be a new game every year, or if they'll do season updates. I would hope, my goal would be for a new game every 2 years, and then we just get DLC paints and stuff, or, updates. That would be, but updates that don't, like, break the game, like, NASCAR Heat 5's update. Something where I can still play career mode and just have new paints. We'll see. They didn't want to release it early because, yeah, I listened to him talking about this, and if you want this game in February, you're just dumb, because there is no way, some deals don't get announced until like February. Like, you're not going to have an accurate roster, accurate paint schemes at all. So like, please stop that. As early as it would be for it to work would be like July, and that would be nice, but you're going to get a fall release probably every year going forward. It's just how it is. And if you want a game released in February, it's going to have last year's paint schemes. So, okay, so let's talk about some other stuff. I remember them saying that there's no silly season in this mode, or in this game, and I understand the frustration. I do. I don't know how F1 gets away with this, and NASCAR at the moment doesn't. I know this because there's a lot more sponsors that you're having to deal with, and a lot more teams and cars. There's got to be a way to make it work, but like, it's not. People are making a huge deal out of this, and I just don't understand. Especially on the first game. If we get to like year 3 or game 3 and they don't have it, then you can, be upset. But it's just not that big of a deal. Like, it's their first game. They've been like, it's just. There are going to be hundreds of drivers in this. Like, it's going to be fine. You're more than likely not going to spend a few years in each series anyway. So, like, if you do 10 years in Cup or 20 years in Cup, then good for you. But, like, I just feel like it's people being mad just to be mad. And I don't know. I understand people being skeptical after Ignition and about Ignition, but this this is a company that has been making NASCAR games for a long time, and iRacing. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. If we're gonna get problems, it'll be in this iteration because it's brand new. But I am going to I am slightly keep trying to hold my expectations back, but I'm excited and I'm hyped, and I just, as long as it plays good and runs good, it's gonna be fine. I really think that's fine. And I know they had the NASCAR drivers come out and say that all that stuff. I think it's gonna be fine. I really do, and I'll put my words, I'll put my mouth on it, my name on it. I don't care if this game sucks. I will own it. I owned it just like I did Ignition. I was way too excited, but I am more excited for this than I was for Ignition. It's going to be good. I've seen so many people saying this is just essentially Ignition again, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? What? No. That company didn't know what they were doing, and no, I trust these people to make a good game. This is sure, the game may look like it, but that's just because it's an Unreal Engine. For one, the graphics look good. The graphics in NASCAR Ignition were great. I never understood the complaints with that. It's not going to be Ignition. It's going to be, no, it's just not. And the people that compare it to that are just not smart at all. And I've seen some people saying they're not going to buy this game because of some of these reasons, like the caution thing or the spectator mode. And it just, I don't know. I feel like we're asking for way too much. Yeah, I want a great NASCAR game too. I've wanted one since NASCAR 06, but I feel like we're going to get that this time. And I feel like some of the nitpicks people are saying are just so dumb. And I don't know. We'll see here in a month or two when we get trailers and we get gameplay. But for now, I think it's going to be just fine. Let's just, let's not make any big, huge decisions right now just because of some interviews. Let's wait till we see gameplay. Good grief. Chill out. It's going to be fine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.